Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian. I am here today at the Rock Island Auction House. This is one of the guns that they are going to be selling in their December of 2016 premiere auction, and I would like to show it to you first. This is an authentic Chinese Wauser C96. Now, the C96, the Broomhandle Mauser, was one of the very popular pistols in China in the 1920s into the 1930s. It was a gun, we've gotten into this in some previous videos, it was a gun that was able to be imported into China because it really kind of fell into some loopholes. It wasn't considered a military weapon because it was a pistol, but it did have a relatively powerful cartridge, and they often came with shoulder stocks, and they could kind of be used as pseudo-carbines. This made them very popular. Mauser eventually actually produced a full auto variant that they sold into China in large numbers. Now, there was a lot of domestic pistol production in China of all sorts of things, and it really ran the gamut from total junk to really nice factory quality guns. This is an example of something kind of in the middle. This is obviously looks like a C96 Mauser, especially from that far back, but let's go ahead and take a closer look at it, and I'll show you why I called it a Wauser. Can't get any more real than that, right? It's a Wauser. Someone actually had all the right letter stamps, but didn't necessarily know which way to put them upside down, right side up. And they're not really lined up either. Mauser had one nice stamp that did that whole logo, and it was supposed to be a barrel of gunpowder with the word Mauser written on it. You kind of lose some of that effect on this version. On the other side here, I can assure you that that actually says Waffenfabrik Mauser Oberndorf am Neckar, the name and location of the Mauser factory, not, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that because it's largely gibberish. But clearly this is a stereotypical, perfect example of the gibberish counterfeit Chinese markings on pistols of this type and era. Now, if you've watched some of my other videos on Chinese counterfeit pistols, I'm sure you'll be interested to take a look at the rear sight here. This one, they came pretty close to getting it right, actually. The range increments are in proper order, and they're actually real numbers. Not quite all the right numbers, though. We go up from 50 to 500 in 50 meter increments, I guess meters. And then we have 6, 7, and then 1,000. So it gets a little wonky there at the end. If you look closely, for example, this line down the center, it's not really straight. That was not done on a machine. That was done by hand, as was much of the other work on this. One of the other classic elements of the Chinese mystery pistol is having a rear sight that you cannot actually see the front sight through. They came close on this one, but you can actually just barely get a sight picture. So there's our front sight. Just barely lines up there with our rear sight. Of course, moving this slider doesn't actually do anything until you get to here, which would be 300 meters. So apparently the mean point blank range for this is 300. You get no appreciable drop with this pistol cartridge until 300. We're also going to have a few other sporadic markings. There is a serial number, 1373 on here, and an E, which I don't know what that's supposed to be. Typically that would be a German proof mark. Up here on the slide, where you should also have a serial number, we do, and it does match. I'm sure that's very important. Another non-existent proof mark. This should again say Waffenfabrik Mauser am Neckar, and it doesn't. It's the same sort of gibberish, a lot of backward letters and misspelling. And in general, if we look at this pistol from a little farther back there, you can see other issues. The curve of the trigger guard here is not correct. This is, again, this is something that would have been done by hand. You can see the thickness varies, the curvature isn't smooth. If Mauser had made this, they would have put this would have been produced on a nice professional jig that would make every part identical. Instead, this was handmade, and so it comes out a little bit different. So if you look at the rear sight here, you'll notice it's not lined up with the center of the hammer, which it really ought to be. All that being said, there's one really cool element here. The Chinese actually put an F and an S, fire and safe, on the safety. The original German ones don't have that kind of marking, and this one actually tells you which is fire and which is safe. So that's actually kind of cool. You know, we give these guys a lot of crap for the quality of these pistols, but in reality, being able to manufacture something that is actually this close to a proper factory-made C96 is no mean feat whatsoever. Most people would have no hope of doing anything even remotely close to this on hand tools in their garage. And, you know, these guys, they did the best they could with the tools and the materials that they had available. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you would like to add this to your own collection of broom handles or Mausers or Chinese mystery pistols of all sorts, take a look at the description text below. You'll find a link there to Rock Island's catalog page on this piece. You can take a look at their pictures and really see up close that this is not a real Mauser. And if you'd like to have it anyway, you can place a bid over the phone or over the website or live in person at the auction. Thanks for watching.